Game started.
Oh, here's a game. Pinheiro from Brazil, right? Cool. Yeah, let's try d4 again. Yeah. So we got a Queen's Gambit. And Queen's Gambit declined a normal variation. Classical. Let's see, a lot of times they bring the bishop out and pin the knight immediately. Yeah, I could do that. Let's do that. I don't usually play this way. Usually I push the pawn forward first, or bring the knight out. But getting the bishop outside the pawn chain is supposed to be good. I think they may actually take the knight and then grab the pawn here and go for some kind of positional setup. But I think I don't know it that well. We'll just keep the pieces on and play. See what happens. Oh, he puts all the pawns in the center. Ooh. So what's going on here? I can take the d-pawn. He takes back, or he can take my d-pawn. I think I should take. If I trade off his dark squared bishop, that's an accomplishment for me, because that's his better bishop in this structure. If he just takes back with the pawn, that would be if he took back with the knight. I'd probably trade bishops. If he just takes back with the pawn, then I can probably go for this isolated queen's pawn position, because he had to move that bishop twice, so he didn't gain any tempos. Now I just want to castle here and also try and keep this pawn restrained. Those are my goals. Need to move the light squared bishop. What I'm wondering, though, is whether he can actually push that pawn right away. Say I play bishop to e2, he pushes, I take, he takes, I take, he takes. I guess I just win that pawn. And bishop e2, I guess he can, pin my knight if I move the bishop anywhere else. So it might want to come back to that square anyway. I don't want to waste the time. I don't want to waste the time to play h3. So he defends the pawn. So I'm going to castle. And maybe queen to c2 and rook to d1. Bring the f rook over to d1. See if I can pile up on that pawn. But I have to be careful, right? If I play queen c2, he can push the pawn immediately, right? Not with his knight blocking away. So say queen c2, pawn there, I can take. Takes, I take with the knight. He has no great discoveries on my piece. So let's go ahead and get this move in while I can. I think that's a better square. I mean, if he hadn't blocked his view of that pawn, I would have maybe played queen d2 and rook d1, just to keep the pressure here. Okay, let's get the rook over first, and then I do have to worry about this potential pins on this file here. And he piles up with the queen that way. So now he is definitely looking at this. He's definitely looking at the d4 square with the number of pieces. He's also unpinned this knight. But I have knight to a4 here. I would like to trade off that active bishop, so I think this helps me, unless there's a tactic I am missing, like some kind of discovered attack on my queen. Yeah, if he could have moved the bishop, but I would have just taken his queen. He takes my queen. I take the knight. I think that. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so this, I'm guessing, works out into a trade. He can take back with the knight or with the rook. He takes with the rook to chase my queen away. Now let's go to this square or this square. I want to stay away from any knight attacks, so maybe this square is better. I was thinking knight to e4 might be kind of annoying. Although I suppose I could have traded queens if he had played that immediately. Can I get in? I want to play b4 and fork those two pieces. But I have to play a3 first. So that would probably Well, let's try it. What the heck? He might recognize the pattern here and move his queen. Yes, he does. Okay, so he's got control of the C file. He's got massive reinforcements there. Let's take, what I have is this good square in front of the isolated pawn, so let's go ahead and take advantage of that. And maybe bishop to g3 here would help chase his queen off of the off of this C file. So, okay, so he's going to trade off my bishop if I play bishop g3. Not a bad plan. He also, I wonder if there's some kind of back rank trick, like sacrificing the knight on d2. If I take with the rook, then his rook comes in and mates me. But I can take with the queen. So I don't see it. Let's see. If I play bishop f3, he's just going to play f5, I guess, supporting his knight. So how about pawn to f3 here? I just want to kick that knight back so I can play bishop to g3. And I don't think he has any good squares for the knight coming forward. He has a queen move, yeah. I mean, a knight move attacking my queen, sorry. Okay, it's getting complicated. If I play my bishop here now, he can trade and take my queen, so I have to move the queen. And I want to move it somewhere where it doesn't get taken or harassed by a knight. I could throw in knight takes bishop if that helps. Knight takes bishop, he takes the queen, I take the queen. He takes the knight, I take the bishop. He takes the bishop, I take. So I think I can throw that in, and then that gives me this square on d4 for the queen, because I'm having trouble finding good squares for the queen. I guess queen to b3 is also a playable move. I kind of like this one. I want to reduce the material here a little bit. Although if he takes with the pawn, I guess that's helping him strengthened his isolated pawn. Although at the same time, it weakened his king side a little bit. So now the knight drops back to c6 maybe to hit my queen if he wants to continue harassing me here. Yeah, I expected that. And I can't come forward. But I can go sideways here. Let's see. Let's see. He can continue to harass me. He's got a big theme of harassment going on. He's doing a good job of maintaining his knight in that position. I think I mentioned that before. That's something strong players seem to be able to do. They can put their pieces on squares, forward squares, and then you try and chase them away, and then they look for tactical ways to maintain the pieces there. But at some point, I think it has to go back. There it goes. So now I could trade off one rook. I could pin this knight first. And I think the pin will be there. I think the pin will be there anyway, so let's see what he does here. I still have queen to b3 if he tries b5 to chase my queen away. My bishop is loose but not hanging, but it is a subject of potential tactics, like rook here, skewering or forking the queen and the bishop, but my bishop was controlling the c4 square. So I am okay so far here. He goes to that square. Okay. He has got his little ways here. Let's drop my bishop back, defend the defend my e-pawn and get my bishop out of trouble. He brings his queen in. Okay, so now I can kick the knight, but he can take. I can defend from the side like this. He's also hitting the b-pawn. I guess that's important too. Okay, switched his rook over to the f-file. That's interesting. Let's see, if I push the e-pawn forward, then, and he takes. I want to maybe chase the queen off first. Could push the f-pawn forward. Let's see, what's the time? 3 minutes to 5 minutes. Yeah, it's getting a little tricky here. The idea is that if the queen comes forward, I can chase it with the bishop. Bishop to f3 or to d3 would look interesting to me. Then I can kick his knight away. His knight has that square to go to. But maybe I should push the pawn forward. Pawn forward, pawn takes. Yeah, it's just not so great. I could try pinning the pawn here. And let's see if he's got some tactics brewing here. This has the feeling, with the two knights, sometimes there's some strange tactical possibilities. So this has the feeling of a position where he might be, he might have some tricks up his sleeve. Well, this bishop, the dark squared bishop here, is controlling these squares that this knight might hop in on. This knight could also come in on dark squares. He could hit the queen here. Okay, his queen drops back to the c-file. Yeah, he just unpins there. So I want to be able to push my e-pawn forward. Try and open up some lines towards his weakened king, and he wants to stop me. So more force on the e4 square. The f-pawn is a problem here, I guess. If I play... that's interesting. So he brought that forward. It's hitting the... it's hitting my b-pawn, and it's a fork. So I guess I have to respect that. Knight takes b2, forks the queen and the rook. Okay, so pawn to b3 would hit the knight, but it would allow him to take. Is there an interesting counter there? Now I can play b3. He can play queen takes, knight takes. He's hitting my rook when I do that. b3 hits his queen, so the queen has to get out of dodge. But so does that mean I have to defend this pawn? That's very sad. A sad state of affairs. Now I can take here. Once again, he's had this kind of double attack. But, well, the knight is pinned there. Not entirely clear. Okay, he didn't try that, and so he's trying something with the queen. Looking at maybe coming in here with the knight. Let's bring my queen over to defend the e-pawn here. he plays knight d2, I have the bishop to harass. Okay, pushes that pawn forward. Okay, my queen is hitting the knight, so if I push this pawn forward, his knight is loose, so he has to do something else. So maybe I can finally get in this push. He can take on f4 with his rook. I can take on d5. If he takes back with the pawn, his knight is hanging. And he can't take with the queen because my bishop controls that square. So I didn't entirely see all of that before I played the move, but it's a good undermining move. And I need to chase these annoying pieces away from my position here. Okay, so now this knight is loose. Oh no, his knight's defended. This pawn is loose. And I'm thinking I'm just playing there. Queen takes with check. Let's see, what's the time? 3 minutes to 1 minute. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one. But well, maybe I can get around to taking advantage of his weakened king side here. It's not much weaker than mine now. I've lost my f-pawn too, so I don't know how things stand, but he just pushes forward. Okay, and he's probably going to push forward again. Let's harass his rook. The rook is defending the knight, and if the rook moves away, maybe I can do something. I can take the e-pawn, I guess, after the rook goes to d4. So he goes in with the queen. So queen takes, knight takes. Is not that attractive, but I don't have to take the queen. My queen is defended here, right? So doesn't this win an exchange?
Black resigns.
Okay. All right. Well, nice game. I will upload this new postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.